And we're back. We're doing some really cool pusher Laravel stuff, and we're about to jump into doing some really cool React stuff with this, because I just wanted to get a status for like a rich dashboard status update for what's going on in the background. I actually can't contain myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same view code that I've got here, and I'm just going to put it into a more permanent location. Maybe I'll change this to, let's see, module. Oh, I already have a folder called module. I can see it right in front of me. Sure. Dashboard blade PHP. I'll put the stuff in there. Okay. I'll take this out because I'm just going to be doing some really funky JavaScript in here. Now, let me get something more to drink. So thirsty. Okay. Fine. So what are we going to do here? Let's change the routing. That'll be in HTTP routes. And this will be, instead of test pusher, it will be dashboard. Module dashboard. Whoa. Module dashboard. Okay, fine. I made that exact same spelling mistake. That's pretty weird. Okay, let's restart the server and test that out. Let's see. It's over here. Restart. Again, that exact same spelling mistake. Okay, fine. No error. That seems to be okay. Now let's get some React stuff going here. How are we gonna do this? Let's think about this. I think I have a React starter here somewhere. In fact, does that work? React starter? That does actually work. Okay, what does that require? So I've got this example HTML file here. This loads in React and React DOM, but it requires Babel core and system.js, which means, oh, and import, what's happening in here? Fine. So I think this is an interesting way to start. I'm just going to copy these files almost directly. I'll do something like this. So, Babel core browser. Maybe I'll do something like this. So I'll import pusher and I'll import these, but I'll download these files locally. Do I really want to do this? This seems like a lot of effort just to get some React stuff in there. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just use raw React. Let me just use plain old React. ReactJS. Not JS bin. Fine. I'll use a CDN version of React. And oh, I'm so tempted to just do some inline JSX. I'm so tempted to do it. I'm so used to it. Setup, usage, that's one. Usage, browser. And this is actually a really bad way to do this. No, I don't want to use a bundler. Standalone build of Babel for use in non-Node.js environments including browsers. Installation. Download that stuff. Manually grab. Does this perform like some build afterwards? Scripts build, gulp build. Okay, fine. We'll download this quickly. Let's go here and download it here. So basically just copy this into Oh. That's interesting. No file system access available. Presets or plugins you must be specified in the arguments. Okay. Okay, fine. I sound drunk. Let's see. Node modules. So let's copy this into public. Wow, lots of folders. Okay, public. And make a folder, JS, and put it in there. Fine. Yes? Did it put it there? Whatever. Come on, come on, come on, come on, quickly. Why is this taking so long? Is PHP Storm trying to index it for PHP code or something? PHP Storm's hanging! What's going on? Wow, I didn't mean you should actually open it. That's pretty dumb. Anyway, okay, Babel.js. Does that work? Let's restart the browser and see. No, that totally doesn't work. Oh, it's because it's in JS. Does that work? Yes, it does. Okay, fine. Let's set this type to. Let's set this type to text Babel. And then let's create another script that will, let's see, var scripts is query selector all type, that's an attribute type. Type text Babel. Okay, fine. I0, I is less than script's length. I need to change this to scripts because it's multiple. I++, script inner HTML. That will get me the JavaScript inside here. Now, what did this module say? Get the input, output is Babel transform, and we actually have to eval this. So eval, the input is scripts I inner HTML. Wow, so much wrong stuff going on here. Okay, JSX React I think is the preset name for this. Sure. Don't judge me by my hacks to get this working really quickly, okay? Let's see if this will work. Let's see if this will work. It's going to be a long load time for this page. Query selector all is not defined. Are you kidding me? Document.query selector all. Fine. Okay. Let's do that. Does that work? Does that actually work? Can I say alert foo? That didn't work. What kind of hocus pocus is this? Let's console log this. Lame, that totally didn't work at all. Okay, let's just give this a class then. Maybe that'll work better, because I don't know if my type selector is working completely. So let's do this. Does this work? No. Oh, silly me. It's because I'm trying to do this for scripts that haven't loaded yet. No ways. So instead of this, I could do eval, and I could dump this stuff out and de-indent this a little bit. Pretty bad formatting. But anyway, and let's change this back to that type property selector. Type text Babel. And then I can remove this silly little class off the end here, because this should still work. And I can close that MDN window I had open on eval. Will this work? Yes, it alerts. Right, so I should be able to use JSX inside here, which is awesome. Right, so let's get a version of ReactJS downloaded and working. Yes. In fact, we can just do these two. Let's just do those two directly from the internet. Oh, probably have to run it with HTTPS, and I'll have to run that with HTTPS. That's fine. Does this load everything? Looks like it's loading everything. Let's do a quick experiment. It's going to take a little while to run that. Yes, because I can remove that alert. Fine. It's going to take a little while to do that, but what we can do is React DOM render. It is React DOM render. Why am I so rusty at this? Why am I so rusty at this? Honestly. Let's just go back to my starter and see what that code was. I'm sure it's React DOM render. I should really know this because I've just written a book on React. So anyway. Okay. React DOM render my component. So let's make a little my component quickly. Class my component extends React component. And this has a render method. In fact, we can even do this. We can do this better. My component is a function. And this has, yeah, never mind. And from this, we will return a div of hello world, just to make sure that this is working. And because I like certain styling with this, I am accustomed to certain styling. We can, oh, what are you doing there? We can actually tell PHP Storm to enable ES6 and JSX. I think if we go to, let's see, where is this? Languages and frameworks, JavaScript. Here we can say JSX Harmony. That'll re-index absolutely everything since the dawn of time, but it should allow us to use this syntax in here without too much fuss. Props, don't want to do that. Props. Sure, I'll do that. There's actually a second argument on here, which is context, but it's kind of advanced usage of React. Wow, it really is indexing all the JavaScript here. And because node modules, I'm just going to add this to excludes. Not that I think that'll make a huge amount of difference. What else is there in JavaScript here? Is Elixir in here? What name would that be under? Is there some JavaScript in here? I wouldn't know. Also, I had this async PHP stuff in as dependencies, but I can actually pull it out because I'm no longer using it. I'm using Queued Jobs, which is cool. So I can compose an update just to trim that stuff out. And hopefully this will finish indexing before the world turns cold from heat death. Come on, I just want to use the ES6 syntax and the JSX syntax. I'm so careful to pronounce JSX with a lot of space in between, because otherwise it just sounds like you're saying JSX, and that's perhaps not the best thing to say on stream or in the world. And I get terribly blushy when I think about it, really. Let's create a React sort of canvas element here. Oh. Funny autocomplete. And instead of going in document.body, we'll do query selector React. That'll probably be a better place to put that. What are you still indexing? Good grief. Just Babel.js, sure. The one file that's not going to have ES6 and JSX in it, you are indexing. As I listen to the hum. Primitive value returned from constructor will be lost when called with new. I could swear I just said this was ES6 harmony, JSX harmony. What's going on there? Maybe I need to restart it. Maybe I need to go back into resources and views, and once I've closed it and reopened it, it will stop complaining. Maybe I really need to restart PHP Storm altogether. Not that I'm going to do that, because that'll completely kill the stream. But if I refresh this now, do I see hello world? If I do, I'm going to be super happy. No, because I'm dumb. Query selector. Let's try that again. Hello world. Show me hello world. No! Target container is not a DOM element. Because this is running after the element. Come on, come on, hello world. Show me hello world. Hello world. Okay, fine, fine. Nearly 20 minutes through, nearly through the third segment, and still don't have this stuff showing as a dashboard. It's fine. I'll go on for longer because I'm really excited about this stuff and I want to show it. So what do I want to do here? Okay, we need a holder for tasks that are going on. What do we call this? Fetch tasks. Do we maybe just want to have this all as a task event list? Okay, fine. Event list. Then we'll say this is an let's just call it div class events. Class name events. This formatting is going to really drive me insane. Okay. Let's see. What would be a good way to iterate this stuff? Do we want to use props children? Not props children. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of this stuff properly. We want to register state for this, so we can't actually do this as a stateless component. Class event list. This has got to be a React component. It's got to have a constructor. And we'll use the rest and the spread operators to push the parameters up the chain. Super class constructor invocation should be in constructor body. Am I missing something? Should this be... No, this should be constructor. Crazy. Anyway, This state is, let's see, the events is just an empty array, which is fine. Component will mount, and here we are going to listen to things. Here we'll bind to this stuff. I'm not using Redux or Flux for any of this stuff. I am just binding simply, and I'll worry about that whole state management stuff later because I'm not particularly interested in how it works right now. So I'll copy that and I'll put the render method in here. That's fine. This state events for each event. We don't actually have to use return on this, but I want to anyway. Return nested returns for fun and profit. Also, we need to give a key for this, so I'll say event I, and we'll return a new div class name event with a key of I. And here we'll just say event module event status. Something like that. Let's see if this works. I have my doubts. So this should be empty to begin with, and hopefully I don't have a syntax error. My component's not defined. Okay, fine. Stop being slow. Event list. This is the component I want to create. Will the render work? Will the render work? It takes a long time to load this Babel.js file, which I guess is kind of the point because it's loading a lot of code. But there are no errors, which is promising because I had my doubts that it would work. Now, when we bind to this, when we get a new item here, I forget what these messages actually are. So let me run them quickly. Oh, not that. Fetch to do those two things, and then queue listen. Yes. It's going to be a while before we start hearing broadcast messages. But anyway, we can inspect the structure of those broadcast messages because I've kind of forgotten what they are already. Hilariously. And then we can start feeding these into a React interface, which is pretty cool. There we go. Okay. So we get an object back and it's got the status in the module, which is just what we broadcast with. It's kind of to be expected. So what we can do is this, if data state is start, this state events data module is data. If data state is stop, done. Wow, I really didn't think these opposites out. Maybe we do it like that. Maybe we do it like that. So actually we'll say, whoa. We'll say, if you're getting done, that means we can remove it from the event list. For everything else, just send it directly to that event list. Whoa. And then we'll say if event, just if event. So if it's not null or undefined or anything like that, just as a little bit of extra protection. Then render that thing. Let's do this again. Let's refresh this because we're going to have some shiny new code to deal with. Cannot read property events of undefined. Ah, because I'm not binding this. So I'm fetching lots of modules to inspect in the background, which is kind of fun. What am I getting? Any errors yet? Am I fetching anything? It's broadcasting. But it's not placing anything there. This state events. So it's not putting any of these things in there. I set this event to an empty thing, and when I get fetch data, if done happens, I remove the event. For everything else, I set the event to the full event object, and then I can say event module and event status. Oh, that's not status, that's state, isn't it? No, it's not status, it's state. Which means I should refresh this. For some reason, it's not giving me the elements at all. So I don't know what that's about. But I did see an incorrectly named thing. Also, is this queue just empty? Is that what the deal is? No, there's still stuff going on there. Curiouser and curiouser. Broadcast event, nothing. Component will mount. Okay, let's restart this. I'll run this in the background again. Status. There it's status again. What on earth? Okay, fine. Let's run it again. Console log debugging works every time. I should actually just get good at doing proper debugging. But anyway. This is empty though, so it's not looping over these things properly. Which is kind of interesting. This state events. Oh, because it's an array. Could it be because I'm trying to set the keys of an array and that's what it's unhappy about? My JavaScript is way too rusty for someone who's actually trying to do this on stream. It's kind of embarrassing. Kind of. For key in this state events. That seems fine. Return key state events key. I could probably alias this just to make it a little bit more concise, but I'm more interested in seeing it work than seeing it be perfect. So there is that. What have I done? For var key in the state events. Because it's not a callback anymore. I want to use the state events for each. I want to use the state events for each. That's actually what I do want to use. But I can't do it because it's now an object. So let's go and look some MDN array splice. I don't use this enough to be familiar with what it's actually supposed to do. This state events is this state for each. Dot module is data module. Delete this state events I really shouldn't edit this in place, but that's what I'm going to do. Dot push data. Fine. I really shouldn't edit this in place, but it's what I'm going to do anyway because I want to get this to work quickly. I lament. I just want to get this to work. It's not giving me errors, but it's also not rendering. So that's not giving me errors anymore. Is it rendering any elements? No. What's going on? Return the div for the state events for each. Return a new div inside that. What's this actually doing? event list, events, and it's empty. Oh, it's because I'm... Okay. Okay, I know why it's doing this, and it's because I'm dumb, basically. It's because I'm dumb. You call set state with a new state. By now you're probably all laughing at my inability to use JavaScript and React on national television. Yeah, it's still giving me nothing. Component did mount. Component will mount. Component did mount. It's firing that stuff off. I don't know why I'm changing this. I don't know why I'm changing this, because it is firing console messages off, which means it's getting here. And there I'm getting module of undefined, so state events I. Let's try this. Console log debugging is working wonders for me right now. I'm staying here until this works. I'm staying here until this works. Broadcast some events. Let's do undefined. Maybe it's because I'm unsetting it within the loop. Maybe that's why. Still, set state is not causing a re-render on this, which is worrying. Oh, because I'm not doing it within here either. You know what? Sometimes I wonder how I got to where I am making this many blunders. Get some broadcast events. I want to see elements on the screen. It's broadcasting, but it's not doing anything. Fine, I concede. Let's make this an object again. Keys this state events for each. Key index event is the state events key. In fact, I can just use this as the key. I don't need to get an index, which means I can remove these brackets as well. So this will look better. Fine. Fine. This state events data module is data. In fact, state events data module. Fine. Maybe I can even do... No, I can't do that. Maybe this will look better. Oh. Just like that. Okay. Learning JavaScript as we go along. Is broadcasting is not getting stuff. Object keys is supposed to return to me. There we go. Okay. So class name event is maybe the key that's not working so well. Is that the problem maybe? I wanted to render these divs. Why can't I just render these divs? What's so difficult about this? I don't understand. It's getting the events. It's getting in here. Return. What's this output code look like? Maybe this is the problem. Maybe this is the problem. Let's see what the output of this is, because I think something weird is going on here. And I want to kind of get to the bottom of it. Class name event, contents hello, type div. It's very good code. I really like the code that it generates. Right, but unfortunately it's no good. We have the div up here. Is it maybe just not writing it to the screen? No, because it puts the events div in here, but it doesn't put the individual divs in. This is so perplexing. Is it just because it's a div? I don't understand this. Unexpected token, obviously, because it's not a string. Fine. Is it just because it's like, am I formatting it wrong or something? It's not rendering that. It's not rendering that. It's not giving me any error logs. State, events. It's got a whole bunch of these things here. So it keeps on updating state events. But in render, when I call state events keys, I get the key in here. It just doesn't render this. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? This seems like such a simple thing to do. For, let's see, page list. Page admin. Is that the thing I want? Of course, I am an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay. I need to return an array of things. That's the problem. I'm returning from this callback, but that's not mapping to whatever I'm returning from here. That's why it's not updating there. And I feel like a fool now, because I needed to return an array of children, not just run callbacks for each child. Okay, so object keys this state events map, and then I will have key basically here, and then I can do the same thing I had here. Event is this state events key. So it's maybe not the most elegant way to do this, but hopefully it's workable. This is a really long segment. Sorry about that. Okay. I will get there in the end. Div class name is event. Close that off, de-indent that, and then I need to do event module, event status, if event status is not equal to done. Oh. Fine, so let's de-indent that a bit, indent that some more, indent that some more. The errors are really getting to me in PHP Storm. I got to figure out a way for it not to moan at me every time. Anyway, I hopefully should have some broadcasting going on now. Broadcast. It's not broadcasting at the moment. There we go. Whoa! Key. So it's not running these things in parallel, which is why I have this problem. If I close Beanstalk and restart it, run this thing again, and then start a few different queue listeners, then we'll see this really take off. So let's run one here, one here, one here. Now this should go nuts. That installer start one has hung for a little while. I wonder if it dropped that message for some reason. But this is really cool, right? This is showing me status of what's going on in the background in the message queue, in the queued workers. And I can decorate this and do some really interesting stuff with it. I think that's all I'm going to do now because I've gone way over time with this segment. It's going to be quite funny having 20 minutes, and then an hour-long segment. So I'm going to go now. Thank you very much for being here, and for like the single person who commented the whole way through. It's really great to have you comment. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you can get emails about when I do these streams, and you can watch along and see me struggle and bash my head against a wall. Thank you, Sharps, who was the last subscriber to follow. I'm going to go now. Have a fantastic day or night or morning or whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Enjoy coding and just continue being awesome. See ya. That one.